Driving across Canada changed my life. Stick around because in today's video, I'm going to explain to you exactly how and give you the 3 life hacks that I learned that I use to increase my happiness every single day. Let's go. Hey everybody, it's Josh from Self-Help for Millennials back with yet another video. If you are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button because I release new self-help content every single week that'll help you live your best life and you don't want to miss out. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Super happy to have you here. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the 3 life hacks that you can use today to increase your happiness that I learned while I was driving across Canada. But quickly, just a little story to give you some context about how I learned these lessons. So for those of you that don't know, it takes about 5 days to drive across Canada from Ontario all the way to British Columbia. That is a lot of time to spend by yourself in a car. And I don't know about you, but when you're by yourself in a car, you tend to do a lot of thinking. And for me, it forced me to confront a lot of my thoughts and to work through a lot of the stuff that I was going through at the time. At the time, I wasn't sure where I wanted to go with my life. I was feeling very depressed. We just finished COVID year, 2020 had just finished and it was March of this year. So it was just a mess. I was very stressed out. And I saw this as an opportunity to kind of work through all those thoughts and all those feelings and just to kind of unplug from regular life and figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And luckily I did. And along the way, I learned 3 things that I now use and implement every single day to increase my happiness. So now with that story out of the way, let's get on to the main content. Let's dive on to those 3 life hacks that you can use today to increase your happiness. Life hack number 1 is realizing that happiness is an inside job. So many of us are looking for happiness outside of ourselves. And you might be asking, how do you know if I'm looking for happiness outside of myself? Well, tell me if any of these sound familiar. I'll be happy once I get the new car. I'll be happy once I get a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a partner. I'll be happy once I get the raise at work. These are all forms of looking for happiness outside of yourself. They all have you waiting for something to happen before you can be happy. And that means your happiness is fully dependent on things that are actually outside of your control. You don't control any of the factors of getting a new job, of finding a partner, of getting that raise. That is all outside of your control. And this leaves you at the mercy of other people as well as the world around you. And instead of chasing happiness, instead of looking for the things that you think will make you happy, take that happiness and taking the desire to be happy, take it back into your own hands. Instead of chasing happiness, look inside. Happiness, especially that lasting kind of happiness that comes every single day and never leaves, that comes from inside. That is an inside job, and it is nobody else's responsibility. It is all on you because nobody else actually has the power or the control of making you happy or of how happy you are. And once your happiness no longer depends on all these outside things, and once it no longer depends on other people, this gives you back a lot of power because now you decide whether you're happy or not, right? Once you realize the happiness comes from inside, the kind of happiness that lasts, that gives you a lot of power. So once you realize that, I encourage you to find things that you can control that actually make you happy and experience them every single day. Life hack number 2 is realizing that it's actually the little things that matter. And this ties directly into what I was saying with my first point, because it's often the little things that bring us the most happiness, but we forget about the little things. It's the curse of the times we live in. We live in the social media age where bigger is better, and we are constantly being bombarded with the fact that our lives just aren't good enough. We're always comparing our lives to the highlight reels that we see on Instagram. Everything on social media is somebody else's highlight reels. And this comparison is the biggest drain on not only our happiness, but our overall satisfaction with life today. And life, unfortunately, whether you realize it or not, is not meant to always be extravagant or exciting, right? We only think that way because that is what we are taught through social media and through comparing our lives to other people's highlight reels. And this just leads us to feeling bad about our own lives because we want to chase after those flashy things. We want to have all those exciting experiences because that is all we see. But once you're actually able to unplug from social media and stop comparing yourself and to actually live life in the present moment, you'll start noticing all these little things that'll bring you a lot of joy. And it's in these little things where you will find everlasting daily happiness. Something as simple as that first sip of coffee in the morning, or reading your favorite book in the comfiest chair in your house. These are what bring everlasting happiness. Sure, those epic adventures and those wild moments leave a lasting impact, but they are few and far between in our regular lives. So if you're able to find joy in the little things in your life, you will see your happiness increase tenfold every single day because you're able to find little things to be happy about. So instead of comparing yourself and always chasing that next experience, find something little, enjoy it, and again, experience it every single day, because that is the key to creating your own happiness in your life. It's not about comparing, it's not about chasing, it is about enjoying what you have right now. And finally, life hack number 3 is that nature really does solve everything. And I've always loved nature, but it wasn't until I spent an extended amount of time in nature, in the mountains, around lakes, that I realized the power it has to improve not only our mental health, but as well as our physical health. Because being out in nature helps us disconnect from the hustle a little bit and just to slow down. It brings us back to our primal roots. And we humans aren't meant to be around all this technology, being constantly bombarded by information all the time. It just overloads our brains. And to deal with this overload, the solution is actually really simple. And that solution is to disconnect. Disconnect from your phone, disconnect from social media, and disconnect from the constant need to doing something all the time. Go into the woods, take a hike, find a lake, do something, and just exist for a little while. Reconnect to your base self, reconnect to your breath, the parts of your mind and your body and your soul that craves connection to the world around you without a screen in front of it. This connection to yourself is what is missing in your daily life, and nature helps give it back to you. So if you're feeling stressed, or if you're just not really sure what direction you want to take your life in, I encourage you to step out of your head and back into your body. Being in nature is the simplest way to do this. So I encourage you to give it a try, to put the phone down. Like, stop the video right now, put your phone down and go stand outside for a minute and just watch your overall well-being and watch your happiness and all your worries just melt away and feel yourself reconnect to who you are. I promise that your overall well-being and your sense of happiness in life will thank you for doing it. So put the phone down, go experience nature, and reconnect to who you really are. Now, I want to make one thing abundantly clear. It wasn't the fact that I drove across the country and back that changed my life. Being alone in a car for a total of 10 days is not exactly life-changing. I mean, unless you've never been in a car before. but it was what I learned about myself and what I learned about life while I spent all that time alone that truly changed not only my life, but it changed the way that I view my place in the world. And I promise you, if you think about these lessons and try to apply them to your life as well, it'll change the way that you see happiness, the way that you see yourself. And not only will it help you reconnect with yourself, but it'll also maybe help you figure out what you need and maybe what you don't need in order to be happy in your daily life. And again, maybe some of this speaks to you, maybe it doesn't, and that's okay. As with all of my content, I'm just trying to start a conversation. I want you to try this out for yourself and see what works for you. Carve out your own path to happiness and live it every single day. All right? If you take away anything from this experience of mine of driving across the country, and you take anything away from this video, let it be the fact that your happiness is in your own hands. All right? And now I would love to hear from you. So let me know in the comment section below. Do you agree that happiness is your own responsibility? And if you made it this far in the video, be sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really helps out in getting this content in front of the people that need to see it. And of course, I appreciate every like, every comment, and every new subscriber. So hit that button, give it a thumbs up. But until next time, I'm sending you all the love and all the happiness that you deserve. And I'll see you in the next video.
I can't forget the day we met. Your eyes so blue, me piercing through. I can't forget the day we met. Your smile so bright.